Right, so our top story at the Sawa illegal miners operating in Riverlea just south of Johannesburg have told SABC News that a rival group of miners trying to take over control of the illegal mining operation in the area is responsible for the recent spate of violence. Now, over the weekend, 5 suspected illegal miners were gunned down in Riverlea following an alleged turf war between rival factions. Police Minister Bagicele visited the area yesterday, where he promised to deploy specialized units to combat illegal mining. But this morning, illegal miners were operating as per usual in the area. This is a snapshot of what the illegal miners, in fact, are saying. Our social activist Bongani Mahlangu joins us to unpack the crisis of Zama Zamas and illegal mining in parts of Johannesburg. Bongani, good afternoon. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
No, greetings to you in studio and greetings to the viewers at home.
Perhaps for context's sake, we can look at the driving factors promoting illegal mining activity in South Africa. Based on the conditions of the SADC region at large, help us understand it within that context.
Okay, thanks. So basically, if we then look at SADC, so you'd realize that SADC is a low to middle income region or economic zone. SADC is characterized by extensive income stagnation, high unemployment, high inequality, increasing population and increasing poverty. And then if you look into the economy that actually anchors SADC, the economy that gets SADC as a region moving, it's the South African economy. So it is the strongest economy. It is relatively the most stable economy and also politically as well. So you find that there's a lot of political stability in South Africa. There's a democracy in South Africa. People can actually live and thrive in South Africa. Even if those people are not here legally, they still have certain benefits, like you can access healthcare and access certain other things that are provided for you by the South African Constitution. So as a consequence, what then happens is that the opposite is true for other SADC countries and also other countries within Africa as a whole. So then people would then move from countries of low concentration or countries where there's low economic activity, high instability, and they would naturally want to move to a place where the opposite is true. And in that case, it's South Africa. So then that then causes an issue for South Africa with regards to immigration control, with regards to, in this case and context, it supplies then labor for illegal mining activities. So you find that the supply of labor far exceeds the demand of labor. And that consequence is that even when these miners, illegal miners, Zama Zama, engage in these battles where they actually murder each other, it becomes very easy to replace that labor because of the supply exceeds the demand. So it is easily acceptable labor, and now people move from the foreign labor market to the domestic labor market, and that is the illegal the illegal domestic labor market, and supply the labor. So most of the time, you also find that interventions of the state with regards to the value chain of illegal mining is concentrated on the labor that is easily replaceable, that is the high supply of. So you'd hear SAPS or the minister or whoever saying we've arrested so many illegal miners. But that does not permanently or in the long run disrupt operations because those people can be easily replaced. So you find that it is the interventions made by our state, it is not intelligence driven where they disrupt the entire value chain. They focus more on upstream production or the people that are active in upstream production, which is the actual miner that goes into any hole or that goes into the ground and arrests that person. But then the entire value chain is not looked into. So it is not disrupted. They are just those short-term or short-lived disruptions because maybe someone needs to be replaced. But then that person is replaced the next day and then operations then continue as if nothing ever happened. So SADC, also it shows that South Africa cannot develop in isolation of the development of other SADC member states or Africa as a continent, meaning South Africa's foreign policy must be able to say there are elections in Zimbabwe that will take place this month of August. what is South Africa's position on those elections and the outcomes thereof? Because Zimbabwe needs to develop. Lesotho, we know that Lesotho has high unemployment. People are struggling in Lesotho. And you find that most of the Zama Zamas, as statistics that were given by SABC, actually come from Lesotho. So Lesotho then is the supplier or the primary supplier or the bulk supplier of this labor. So then what are the interventions that South Africa is willing to take or is currently taking in Lesotho to ensure that Lesotho develops? So then it de-incentivizes a person, in this case and context, a young black male, from moving to Lesotho into South Africa, into the ground of South Africa, and finding themselves operating as an illegal miner or as a mercenary or assassin for that market. So then South Africa must have a position. What happens in Mozambique? Because some of these guys come from Mozambique and Malawi. So if Mozambique has gas, is South Africa providing the necessary means to ensure that Mozambique can extract as much value out of that gas in order to grow its economy, create jobs in that country, and ensure that that country thrives? It is politically and economically stable. So South Africa does not do that. And as a consequence to South Africa, we find that there is this migration into the holes or the abandoned mines of the country.
Bongani, thank you for those sentiments. I think you got to the crux of the matter. South Africa cannot develop in isolation from the SADC region or the continent, just because we have to look at the pull factors, in fact, attracting illegal mining or foreign labor rather to South Africa. There are obviously direct costs associated as well, but I'm going to leave the conversation there, and thank you for your time with us on the SABC. Bongani Mahlangu, just unpacking the crisis of Zama Zamas and illegal mining in various parts of Johannesburg and what, the driving factors perhaps are at this point.